So, I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to have compassion for abusers, if you can do so effectively. In some ways, it's arguably more important to have compassion for an abuser even than a victim, because if the abuser doesn't get help to break out of those abusive patterns, they're going to repeat, continue, and cause more and more harm. There are a number of reasons that working with abusers can be particularly challenging. One of which is that oftentimes, if they acknowledge that they have abusive tendencies, they may feel like they don't deserve to be helped. So it's really important to be able to help them understand that it really is best for everybody to help abusers. So when I want to help an abuser, I just try to make it very clear that I think it's in everyone's best interest that they do get help and that I truly do want to help them. A compounding complexity potentially when working with abusers is that they really need to have a belief in some sort of redemption arc. They need to believe that they can be redeemed, um, that they should be redeemed, that you want to help them be redeemed, but just believing that they can be redeemed requires a level of faith that is arguably in the religious territory and can be quite a struggle to get someone there if they're just guilt ridden or very much still trapped in their abusive patterns. Oftentimes, abusers were themselves abused in their past, and this can put them in a revenge cycle sort of mentality where they want to get back at people, or maybe they just want to express their frustration and anger to the world so that society sees this problem. Not that they may consciously be thinking about it in that way. When I work with an abuser and we talk about their future vision, we talk about their plan of how they want to get there. It's usually at that point, once we get to the mismatch, that it becomes very clear to them their abusive patterns, their revenge mentality, whatever it might be, is totally incompatible with their future vision. Revenge is not a part of Buddy's future vision if it's a healthy future vision. For someone to be able to break out of one of these patterns, they really need to have so much faith in that redemption arc that they're willing to commit to making those necessary changes and really act in alignment with that future vision. Otherwise, they're going to stay stuck in this revenge mentality or some form of self contradiction, which could lead to schizophrenia. Things are only getting worse if this isn't addressed. Another challenge when working with abusers is that it can be really hard to put yourself in their shoes. Even if you can understand on some level how they could have been driven to do what they've done, on a more human level, you might find it just impossible to imagine yourself ever being driven to that point. So for me, this is a reason why archetype models are super useful when working with abusers or anyone who's hard to understand. These systems can help give insight into why someone can be so very different on a core nature level, why they may be more prone towards violent behavior. Understanding their archetype better can also provide insight into how you can help them avoid falling into those patterns. Working with an abuser and helping them escape such a deep trap can be one of the most fulfilling things. And so, having compassion for abusers, if you can do so effectively, is absolutely worth it. As a caveat to that, I will say, although I do believe anyone can be redeemed, I don't believe everybody will be in this particular lifetime. And I think it's very important to use discernment when determining whether or not you are actually the person to help any given individual.